Hi, I'm Dhanlakshmi. In this presentation, I'm going to tell about the agency that I chose, that is Community Living St. Mary's. So at first, I'm going to tell something about the organizational elements of this agency. So the first one is mission. The mission of this agency is that a community where everyone belongs, which clearly states that the agency focuses upon the concept that everyone should be included in the community, no matter whether they have disability or not. So everyone should be included in the community. So the next one is mission. The mission of this agency is that it focuses upon creating an environment where everyone understands and accepts that every individual is different by themselves and everyone should be valued and accepted in the society. This would help the supported people to get a feeling of they are welcomed and they belong to the society, and this would help them to make contributions to the community and by nurturing their abilities, talents and skills. So that's the mission of this agency. So the next thing that I'm gonna say about is the values of this agency. So this agency has put forward a lots of values, and I'm gonna say a short version of all these values together. I'm not gonna read all of these values one by one. So in this page, they are saying that this organization believes in putting the person first and being accountable to them while valuing a range of relationships. So that's what's said in this page. Then the next thing is that this agency support the self-administration and believes that inclusive communities are created by recognizing and utilizing each person's unique gifts. They are committed to supporting people with developmental disabilities in St. Mary's, and they believe that the community involvement leads to the full citizenship of every individual. So in this section, the agency says that they prioritize the grassroots community development, and they prioritize that they plan for the future needs and fostering a culture of learning and innovation. Then here they say that they value the role of staff in people's life and believe in separate and local planning as well as independent planning in Ontario's developmental services system. They also prioritize active quality assurance process for a healthier generation. So that's all about the values of this agency. Then the next organizational element is goals and objectives. So telling about the goals and objectives, the goal of this organization is to create a welcoming, nourishing, and a safe environment for the people they support. They prioritize spending time together and sharing life experience in order to build strong and lasting relationships of their supported people with the community. Then the next thing is that the funding resources. So the resources that fund for this agency are the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, Service Canada grant for summer students, passport funding, and partnership and other agencies. So they got partnership. This agency has partnership with other agencies, and they also help them in funding. So the next thing is the accessibility of services. So while we think about this agency, we should need to know that how accessible their services are for the people out there, for the people who need service. So all the services that the supported people get through this community living St. Mary's is made access through the DSO, that is the Developmental Services Ontario. So for getting access to the services given by the DSO, there is an eligibility criteria. That is, you should be able to you should get the services only if you live in you live in Ontario, you're 18 years old, and you have the proof of a developmental disability. So these are the eligibility criteria for getting services. Then even if you pass the eligibility criteria, you might face some barriers. So the barriers that are connected with getting accessible to the services are, the first thing is that failure to the eligibility criteria. So if you're not 18 years old and you need the services and you are eligible for all the other conditions, you do not get the services because you're not completely eligible for the services. Then the next one is being in a wait list due to limited funding. The DSO is funded by the government, and there might be limited funding in certain circumstances, and you might be put into a wait list. Then the next one is that the limited availability of services, that it's not sure that you will get a complete set of services that you needed as a person who needs support. So there might be a limited availability of services, and that's also related to limited funding of DSO. Then if you're living out of Ontario, you might not be able to get accessible to the services given by DSO. Then there are several other barriers such as language and cultural barriers. That is, for example, if a person who needs support and their family do not have knowledge in English language, they might not be able to get the services provided by DSO. It would be difficult for them. So these are some of the barriers. Then the next part is that I'm going to discuss about the impact of the organizational elements on the services provided by this agency. So we can look at if the services provided by the agency matches to the organizational elements that they put forward. So here are some evidences that says that the organizational elements are same as that the services provided by this agency. So the first thing is that they listen to the supported person before making any plans for their life. So there are several plans made for the life of supported person to help them, to support them. So while making all these plans, they listen to the supported person and make plans based on their choices and decisions, and that clearly reflects their values that everything starts with the person. The next thing is that they take supported people to libraries and other recreational facilities to connect with more people and to get involved in the community. By taking to the libraries and other survey facilities in the community, they would be involved in the community, so that clearly reflects to their values. And the next one is that they encourage the supported people to participate and to get involved in the clubs and groups in the community, so that they could get connect with more people in the community, and they could be in conversation with several people in the community that and find out if their concepts and thoughts matches with any others in the community, and this will help them find a meaningful life. So that clearly reflects their goals, that is to build strong lasting relationships. So that's all about the agency presentation. That's all about the agency community living St. Mary's. Thank you so much.